I would like to welcome you to Lecture 1 of the subject Future Farming Technologies. This subject is a component of the Bachelor of Agriculture and Technology offered at both NMIT and Melbourne Polytechnic. Please visit our website for further information on this subject and other courses that we offer at www.nmit.edu.au. My name is Dr. Nikki Cooley. During this subject we will explore a number of topics. GPS and GIS, which is practical and theoretical understanding. We will look at the Green Revolution, molecular genetics and genomics. This will cover the adaptation of traditional breeding and new technologies, where the aim is to optimize breeding in agriculture. A topic I have called the Sensing Revolution. This will cover a suite of senses from soil, plant and animals. And there'll be a section on models and modelling, very important for yield predictions and making management decisions. And finally we will end up on a topic, the future of agricultural technologies. This is where a number of potentially future technologies will be explored. There are 5 student learning objectives in this subject. The first is to describe and explain the interrelationships between technology performance, sustainability and production efficiency in agricultural industries. The second is to examine and evaluate different technologies such as global positioning systems, information and sensing. The third is to use crop growth and yield prediction software to assess agricultural productivity and explain concepts of measuring and modelling in the application of precision and future farming technologies. The fourth will describe and explain the concepts in the Green Revolution and the roles of technologies, with particular focus on genetic engineering, methodologies and genomics. This will include an awareness on the ethical and environmental and social issues that surround these subjects. And finally, the fifth student learning objective is to interpret, communicate and present ideas using appropriate terminology. This slide gives you information on how the subject will be delivered, the timetable and, importantly, the participation. The student learning outcomes will be taught by a mixture of lectures, tutorials or workshops and other resources such as literature and videos. Lectures for this subject will start on Tuesday the 22nd of July 2014. There will be 1 or more lectures a week depending on the topic, and they will continue until the 14th of October 2014. Either a tutorial or a workshop will accompany most lecture topics. On Moodle you will find the subject outline, which will give information on the assessments, detailed timetable for this subject and other important information that you may require. Please take your time to read this documentation. Lectures, tutorials and workshops will be delivered either by a more traditional face-to-face mode or by a flexible delivery mode. Let me explain more. If you wish to listen to the lectures face-to-face, then please turn up between 9:30 to 1 on each Tuesday. Or alternatively, you can get the information on the lectures either as a video or as a lecture handout with some notes. All of these will be available through Moodle. When you come to the face-to-face lectures, in most weeks we will be in L125. There are a couple of weeks on the 31st of July and the 23rd of October where we will be in room L127. I will notify you of these changes through Moodle email. Tutorials and workshops will be available online, or you may complete these in the face-to-face timetable period between 9:30 and 1 on Tuesdays. As a suite of resources for this subject, you will have lecture handouts, notes and or YouTube videos of lectures, video resources, literature, your subject outline, tutorial exercises and details of workshops. There are a couple of dates that you should pencil into your diary, as these are very important. For the completion of Assessment 4, there will be a practical competency which will be conducted in week 10. For Practical Assessment 3, there will be a group presentation which will require participation in week 12. With respect to the group presentation, you can either come up in person or you can use something like a smartphone to record your video, and this will be posted a week before the presentations, and you may submit your assessment via this mode. Please note, with respect to Assessment 4, there is no alternative route for assessment. Therefore, I'd strongly recommend that you please attend on Tuesday the 14th of October 2014. I wish to talk briefly about the subject resources. The literature in this subject will be presented as two types. There is that will be called essential literature. That is, you will be required to read this literature in order to meet the learning outcomes for the subject. There will be a second type of literature, which is accompanying literature. This is not essential to read, but it may help you in areas that you do not understand or give you increased depth for, for those who are interested. This is what we call an additional resource. All literature will be detailed in the lecture and will be available on Moodle as either a link or how to get the literature. You will also be exposed to online electronic resources. This may be in the form of literature, videos, articles and/or websites giving details about certain equipment and/or technologies. It is important that you understand the next part of this resource. Moodle. It is important that you have both access to Moodle and access to the Future Farming Technology site. Please contact me immediately if you do not have access. Once you have access, it is your responsibility to regularly check the Moodle site and email communications. Please note, Moodle defaults to your NMIT student address. If you do not use this address regularly, then you need to make alternative arrangements. This is your responsibility. If you do not receive a communication because you have not checked your NMIT email, this will not be used as an excuse or reason for late assessments or not understanding or knowing about changes to either a class, a workshop or an assessment. During week 3, on the 5th of August 2014, we will be conducting a GPS exercise and GPS workshop at the Yan Yean NMIT Farm. To allow for public transport, we will start at 10 a.m. and be completed by 1 p.m. that day. With respect to transport, students can either carpool or there is a bus from Epping to South Moran. It is a request stop. Please speak to the driver and ask to be stopped at the Yan Yean Farm gates. The drivers are very used to dropping off students here. It is essential that you dress appropriately. This is a working farm. Please bring enclosed shoes, sunscreen protection if it's a hot day, although this is unlikely in winter, lunch and drinks. You will also need plain paper, a couple of sheets and a pen to record your observations. It is important to note that attendance to the workshop at the farm is not essential. It will, however, give you a competency-based practice at GPS coordinates in a farm situation. The Yan Yean Farm is a 200-hectare property located 25 kilometres north of Melbourne. The address is 2005 Plenty Road, Yan Yean, Victoria 3755. The 5 learning outcomes for this subject will be assessed across 4 different assessments. Please note, there is no examination for this subject. Your first assessment will be the completion of a case study. This will be on the application of future farming technologies. It will be a 2,000-word case study. It is worth 40% of the subject, and the due date is in week 3. This will be at midnight on the 5th of August. Please note, You will need to select a subject in order to complete the case study. All subjects need to be authorised by myself, Nikki Cooley, either by email or in the first week of class. Please do not start this assessment until you have authorisation. It is important that you follow up for authorisation. If you have not sought authorisation by week 1, a case study topic will be given to you and one will not be able to be selected by yourselves. Tutorial assessments will form part of the assessments for number 2. They will be a mix of problem-solving tasks and tests. There will be 3 during the semester, the first on week 4, the second week 7 and the last in week 9. They will be worth a total of 20%. The third assessment for this subject is a group presentation where we will explore technology and perceptions of its use in agriculture. This is worth 20%. It will be conducted in week 12, which is Tuesday the 14th of October. You will either need to attend the group presentation in person or record your presentation electronically and submit this 1 week before the presentation date. The final assessment for this subject is worth 20% and is a demonstration of the practical competencies and applications. This will be on sensing and it will be conducted in week 10. Please see Moodle for assessments for further details about these assessments. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for enrolling in Future Farming Technologies. I hope you find this subject both interesting and challenging. The best way to contact me is via my email. If you wish to come and see me and discuss any aspect of this subject, then please do. Please arrange a time via email first. My contact time for teaching this semester is very high, and I may not be available if you just drop by the office. I can also be contacted by phone. Please leave a message on my phone if I'm not able to answer your call. This brings us to the end of the first lecture.